You are now listening to Straight No Chaser. Some talk shows dilute the issues. We only serve the hard stuff. So welcome your hosts, your girl Ambeezy, Pastor C, Thinbad, and the Chief.
Where we never dilute the issues, we only serve the hard stuff. It's your girl Ambeezy, and as always, I'm here with the Chief.
Hey.
Thinbad.
Hello.
And Pastor C, who is en route. So, it's finally here. Thanksgiving has come and gone, and now the holiday season is upon us. Now begins the shopping, Black Friday, Pink Tuesday, Cyber Monday, and whatever else will get you to spend your money. So, it is also exam season for us college students, so we can get into the spirit until at least the end of next week. So, we can't get into the spirit until at least the end of next week, sorry. In the meantime, there's a lot going on these days. So, tonight we're going to talk about a hodgepodge of events. We have the elections in Mississippi, another African male who possessed firearm qualifications and was shot and killed mistakenly by police. The attorney general was replaced, riots along the border, and the president doesn't believe in climate change, but what else is new? So, before we talk about these current events that I just named and more, don't forget to call us at 702-425-7789 or chat with us live to share your thoughts. And since today's show is kind of like just talking about hot topics, if you have anything in the news that's floating around that you want to hear us discuss as well, please do not hesitate to call or chat. So, as an opening, I didn't mention this in my little intro, but you know, one of the events that I was super interested in was this California wildfire. And, you know, since we're in the subject of wildfires, there was also a huge wildfire back in 2017 in Tucson, Arizona, or near Tucson, Arizona. And it just came out today that it was caused by a gender reveal party that was thrown by a Border Patrol agent.
A what?
A gender reveal party.
Wow, they were revealing genders?
Yes. So what he did was...
What do you do with them kind of parties?
So...
Do you show a picture of the x-ray, or how do you do that?
Okay, so gender reveal party is basically when the person having the baby, or the woman having the baby, does something special to show it's kind of like a baby shower. It's a part of the baby shower usually. So they do something big to tell the party if they're having a boy or a girl. So what he did was set up a target with the words boy or girl on it, and it was supposed to burst pink or blue, and it caught the bushes on fire, and it spread across 47,000 acres, needed to be tackled by 800 firefighters, and the father of the baby pleaded guilty to starting it, of course, because there's a video, because, you know, people, you know, post videos on social media and all that, and he has to pay $220,000 in restitution.
Wow.
So that is crazy.
Well, you know, again, who thought that was a good idea? That's what I want to know.
I'm saying.
Man, that was crazy.
You know, because again, it's not like no one knew that particular part of the country wasn't dry, there hadn't been rain, and all that kind of stuff. So to go out and do something like that, that's crazy.
I don't understand that.
No, that makes no sense.
And,
I can't even. I didn't even know that's something.
and you know the other thing, you can't tell me there wasn't a better way to unveil the gender of your baby besides starting a fire that went, what did it cover, like 9 million acres or something like that?
47,000.
Yeah, see, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And he's making restitution.
Yeah, he's ordered to pay $220,000. I mean, that's a house.
Well,
I'm saying not there. Probably not out there. Where is that?
Well, Arizona, yeah.
Oh yeah, Arizona.
That's a nice house.
Okay.
but you know, but it raises a bigger issue when people do things like that. And let's suppose that fire had the same tragic results as the fires that were burning in Northern California that eventually ended up in the Malibu area and so forth, where you had hundreds of people in harm's way. At some point during those fires, they were concerned because there were thousands. It was over like 1,200 people that were considered missing, and the damage and just and the amount of public safety personnel that are dispersed for those types of things. You know, there has to be more of a deterrent than what this guy received, in my opinion, because that could have been really, really, really ugly. And that's something.
I mean, look at what happened in California.
Well, right, and it's not like, you know, you were barbecuing and something went awry there. I mean, this guy went out and deliberately shot off smoke canisters or whatever the heck he was shooting at, and it started an inferno, literally. I mean, that makes no sense to me.
Yep.
Let's just go ahead and word a prayer for that baby when that baby gets here, because it got some stupid parents.
Man. And imagine, like, you just are having a newborn baby, like trying to save money to have a newborn baby, and then you have to, now that's a whole new bill you have to pay. Like, now you have to pay $220,000 for our gender reveal right before our new baby. Like, wow.
But see, again, it goes right back to common sense. I mean, why would you do something that ridiculous? And you know the consequence. Wasn't this guy a forest ranger or some type of public servant?
Border patrol agent.
Right. So I think border patrol agents know a little bit about starting fires.
Well, evidently they don't.
He's just making this worse. This story is just getting worse. He's getting dumb about a sentence. He's just getting dumb about. Oh my God.
You know, here's a guy that is a public safety official that knows about fire drills, emergency management. You know, every police officer across the country goes through all kinds of emergency drills and so forth and so on, and many that are exclusive to their area of the country. Mm-hmm. So obviously he's been through fire safety drills and all these types of things. So again, I don't care what your walk of life is. If you do something that boneheaded, that to me says that you need, you know, a big belt on that ass.
Yeah, that was pretty bad,
exactly.
Man.
That's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. What else you got, Ambeezy?
Well, I think we can. I really want to talk about, you know, these elections in Mississippi, because apparently I didn't. So I knew that the elections in Mississippi were a huge deal, especially because I believe it's around 40% of Mississippi is African American. But the lady who just won the race in Mississippi apparently made a comment that said she would be front row at a lynching if it happened in 2018. That is a quote by this woman. And that is the person. So and they were saying, like, based on the statistics of how she won, that means every 8 in 10 person who voted in Mississippi voted for her, which is super devastating. Like, that is crazy to me. So what do you guys think about that? That is, you know,
I think it's crazy. Mississippi has a history of you know, that obviously precedes it, and as much as they try to, you know, push it down, it's not working. I think it's like the poorest state in the union. Still at this point, it has a hard time attracting business, new businesses and things like that. And this just doesn't help. This isn't going to help Mississippi folks out at all. I mean, they're lower, education, everything that you need public monies and funds for. They're just behind in everything. They're behind the education system, everything. And I don't know what the deal is. The only hope is to maybe, but given the numbers that you just stated, 8 out of every 10, I'm not so sure that anything, unless she does something super ridiculous. She may be related to this cat in Arizona who burned down something with the baby. I don't know. I mean, if it has those kind of simple genes, and she's gonna mess up again. Her foot seems like it is permanently in her mouth. So she's gonna say something else. She's gonna do something else. She's almost in some ways like a female Trump in what she says and how she speaks, the thoughtless ways that she says things. But there was a song that Nina Simone did some years ago. It was called Mississippi GD. And still I gotta say, that's the name of the song, Mississippi Got.
Oh, I thought you said a Mississippi GED.
No, GD,
oh, okay.
GD. I was trying to be PC.
What is that?
Yeah, no. But it's that's a song that Nina Simone sang, back in civil rights times, and I gotta say, anybody who hadn't heard it, go listen to it. It probably still holds true today. The lyrics fit.
Well, one of the things I'm just curious to know from you, Thin Bad, since you've been in politics a long time, what do you think this election says about the racial climate in the country? But most importantly, what do you think it says about the racial climate in Mississippi? I mean, did this lady, did she actually get all votes from all white people? Were the African Americans supporting her? Were the Hispanic people supporting her? What was the basis of her support? I'm just curious to know.
I don't know. I gotta hope. I haven't looked at the numbers. I can't imagine there'd be too many black. You're gonna have one or two. You always got one or two, but who's gonna be different and tell you? You gotta trust. Get out of here. Certain things you ain't gotta trust. Certain things are just ridiculous. I guess it may be just the numbers or the way, whatever kind of voter suppression things they've got going on in Mississippi. I don't know, or it could just be straight out, the folks just outnumbered them and came out and voted for whatever. I don't know if like I think, Jesse Jackson would always say, is hope going to run the day on that election day, or is fear going to do it? Fear and hate. And it looks like fear and hate is still ruling the day in Mississippi. Mississippi is, I've met some great people from Mississippi, but that's a good place to be from.
Well,
that's a good place to be from.
Well, the thing that's kind of disturbing was the rhetoric that's going on, and when you make comments like I want to see a hanging or something along that's closer to that,
anywhere close to anything about a hanging, right?
right. That's very disturbing, and what is even more disturbing is that people are willing to say, well, that's okay, but she's going to make sure that we have health care, whatever the issue is of the day that people hide behind.
I think something has to be said about the lengths people are willing to go to in order to support their own personal beliefs. Because the one thing about the Trump election, it was almost like a lot of people could acknowledge that, President Trump was controversial and racist and blah, blah, blah. Like, a lot of people realized how controversial he was as a candidate, but with those comments you also heard, but it's something different. Maybe we need something different. It's like, okay, but so y'all are tripping over emails, but you want a president that says he grabs women by the explicit? So I just think that it's interesting to see, and they actually, I read an article earlier today that covered specifically rural America